You know, after 4 projects to do with Power Rangers, I should really mix things up a bit. Today, it's time to duel, and we're going to be going up against Ishizu Ishtar, simply because I just love her Battle City tournament look. Now, I'm going to be working from this Bratz doll, as I feel the Bratz dolls have enough in common with the way people are drawn in Yu-Gi-Oh! But before I could do anything else, I had to clean her up a bit because this is pre-owned and quite frankly, I don't know where she's been. Now, I've not worked with doll hair before, so this was quite the interesting experience. Doll hair is made out of a number of things: nylon, saran, etc. Plastic-based fibers. And from what I can tell, this is what I needed: hand gel for disinfecting, fabric conditioner to help the straightening process, and boiling water to, soften the plastic fibers so they actually will straighten. This took a few hours to do. It was stressful, to say the least. With the cleaning all done, it was now time to start work on Ishizu's dress. And this was really hard to research. Apparently, the dress itself is meant to be a sarong, but I just couldn't figure out where the knot would have gone. And judging from the way it's drawn, the veil is all one piece. But looking at the doll I'm working with, I decided just to make a sewing pattern. Now, for a sense of authenticity, I'm going to be working from this linen, as from what I can tell, linen is very popular in Egypt, and Ishizu is meant to be Egyptian, so here we are. Originally, I wanted to capture the way clothing moved in the anime, as everyone in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime has a convenient gust of wind, Kaiba being the best example of this. So I tried to take 60 degrees of fabric and make a skirt out of that, but unfortunately, due to the shape of the doll's legs, that just wasn't going to happen. So I did some casting with masking tape and settled on this sewing pattern instead, and the mock-up proved that it did work, and one ladder stitch later, the skirt was finished. I then used the same method to make the bodice. Now the veil was really hard to make. I looked up real-world veils and none of them were making sense. This was when I realized using a Bratz doll for this project was probably a bad idea, as the shape of the doll's head just wouldn't let any fabric lay flat, and it's the same width as the shoulders. I mean, at one point she looked more like one of the Mordras from Dark Crystal. In the end, I settled on this half a circle pattern. I put 2 darts on either side of the back of her head, and finally, the veil was finished. Now, the golden parts of the outfit, I thought they were going to be very easy. Originally, I was going to use some craft foam, but it was a bit too thick. So I fashioned new jewelry out of slightly thicker than average paper and super glue. But then we get to her belt and that bit of gold that's on the chest part of her dress. There I decided to take the embroidery approach, and it just kept going wrong. I could not figure out what type of stitch I should go with, and after 3 attempts to make the belt, I got frustrated and rage quit. Yeah, I did it. I'm not proud of it, but I rage quit. And in the 2 months where I just didn't even touch this project, that was when I made a cape for Blaze and Impersonator. But after 2 months, I had my own little Monster Reborn moment, and it was time to get back to work. I painted the paper-based jewelry gold with spray paint, and sewed on the embroidery-based jewelry. And I clearly miscalculated, because there was a massive patch of just no embroidery at all. But when I went to fill the patch in, the needle bent. So I figured just leave it. The doll's hair covers it, and then there's the veil on top of that. The belt is done. Although I did add her chains, so there is that. Now, the veil I had already, it was still bothering me, so I went back and tried to make something a bit more accurate to the TV show. And this time, there was this little bump, like at the back of her head. This problem wasn't there when I did mock-ups, so I don't know why it's here now. So I used a ladder stitch to tighten that area of excess fabric, and the bulge was gone. And for the final part, her shoes, the purple parts of the shoes that the doll came with, I just covered the purple bits with gold glitter. And Ishizu is finished. Now, as I said before, using a Bratz doll with hindsight in mind was probably a bad idea. If I ever did this project again, I would definitely use a doll that's more accurate to human proportions. And I'm just not really all that fond of the embroidery. Just think it could have been better. Although, on the positive side, I'm glad I stuck with it. I mean, I know I rage quit, but I didn't just let it sit unfinished for all eternity. I'm very impressed that I was able to cut out the head bit of jewelry and the Millennium necklace on such a small scale. And I'm very impressed I was able to figure out a sewing pattern that was able to make a straight skirt sit on top of the doll's legs without too much difficulty. And while I am not really particularly fond of this project, if you are fond of this, be sure to give this video a like, and share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to do any one of those free. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!